Good morning, guys. We are continuing with geometry. This is chapter 14, lesson 4, talking about circumference and area of circles. So this slide is going to be really helpful for you to kind of understand what the letters mean, what the formulas are for what you guys are finding. So before all of this happened, one of the things that we did was celebrate Pi Day, and we talked about Pi Day being math related, and the symbol for pi being this right here, and it is representative of 3.14, which is why we celebrated it back in March. It should have been March 14th, but we celebrated it the day before since it was a Friday. So we've kind of talked about pi before. We've talked about what number it represents and how it kind of relates to circles a little bit. So now we're actually going to use pi in formulas to find the area and also the circumference of a circle. So some couple quick terms. Diameter, or if you see the letter D, is going to mean distance through the circle, like through the entire center of the circle. So this line right here, all the way from one side to the other, is the diameter. And then the radius, or if you see R, is just the distance from the center of the circle. So this would be the center of the circle to a point around the circle. So my radius could be there, it could be there, it could be there. Any of those lines are going to be the same distance since they're from exactly the middle to the end. Your radius is a straight line, your diameter is also a straight line. So then your circumference, okay? So your circumference is the distance around a circle. So it's kind of like finding the perimeter of a circle, but this is your circumference. So it's not finding what the inside of the circle is, but your circumference is just how big around it is. So if you've ever like found the perimeter of, like in class when we talked about perimeter, you're finding the perimeter of a room or a house. You're not finding the full area of that shape or that spot, but you're just finding the area around it. So then the formula for what we're going to talk about. So the formula for circumference can either be 2 pi r, so r is radius, or it can be pi times d. So remember, anything right next to each other means multiplication. So 2 pi r means 2 times pi, or 3.14, times the radius, or pi times d equals 3.14 times the diameter. So what this means is, if I'm only given my diameter, then I would use this formula. But if I'm given a radius, I would use this formula. So radius is really just half of the diameter. So that since the diameter is the complete circle, the radius is just half of the diameter. And then your area, and this is the main one we're going to focus on, is pi r squared. So remember, squaring, if I do 3 squared, it's not, so if I have 3 squared, it's not 3 times 2, it's 6. It's how many times I multiply the bottom number by itself. So it would be 3 times 3 equals 9. So make sure you are squaring correctly. So we're going to look at this, which is kind of 2 examples in one, and then we're going to look at one other example. So we're actually going to find the circumference and find the area of the same circle. So my circle right here has a diameter, and I know that it's diameter because it goes all the way across. So this is my diameter, is 90 millimeters, okay? I'm going to first find the circumference. So remember, circumference is this around the shape. So I had the 2 kind of formulas that I could use. So I could either use 2 pi r or pi d. Since I don't know r, I can figure out r, but since I'm already given d, I'm going to use this formula for the diameter. And then I'm going to multiply 3.14 times 90. And you guys are more than welcome to use a calculator on this. I'd rather you know how to use the formula and know what to multiply together than stress about multiplying all of this together. So if you multiply 3.14 times 90, you get 282.6, and it is in millimeters. Okay, so that would be your circumference. Then if I am finding the area, remember your formula, and it's right here. My formula for area is pi r squared. Since I don't know r, I need to find r. So since d is the entire, the length of the entire circle, I could find r by dividing that in half. So if I take 90 and I divide it in half, it gives me 45, which is what I did right here. So my radius is 45. So 45 is half of 90. My diameter is the entire length of the circle. My radius is half of that length. So I have 45. So I then have pi r squared now that I know my r. So pi is always 3.14, then times, and then 45 squared. So make sure you do your 45 squared before you multiply by pi. So remember, PEMDAS is always a thing. So I need to do my exponent before I multiply. So I have 45 squared. So remember, that's not just 45 times 2. 45 squared is really 45 times 45. So 45 times 45 is 2,025. And then I still have times 3.14. Okay, so my area, and I'm going to write it right here, is 6,358.5, and it was in millimeters, and area is always squared. So that is my answer. Okay. On the next slide, we're going to practice some more with area, circumference. The biggest thing is just making sure you're picking the right formula. If it gives you radius, do 2 pi r. If it gives you diameter, do pi times diameter. Okay. So this next slide, and you have a couple of these in your homework, so I really hope you are paying attention to them. So it is giving you a circle and asking you to find the area of the shaded region. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to find the area of both circles and then subtract them. Please do not try to subtract the 2 radius and then do your area. You will not get the correct answer. Okay, so you need to find the area of both circles. So this is the area or the radius of my bigger circle, and this is the radius of my little circle. So I'm gonna find the area of my big circle first. So I have pi, I have pi, then 12 squared. So pi, I'm gonna go ahead and convert to 3.14. And then I know that 12 squared is, so this is 12 times 12, which is 144. So then I'm going to multiply 144 times 3.14, and I get 452.16, and this is inches squared. So this is the area of this big circle right here. Then finding the area of this smaller circle, I have pi. My radius is 7 squared, so 3.14, and then 7 squared would be 7 times 7. So 7 times 7 is 49. And then I'm going to multiply 49 times 3.14, and I get 153.86 inches squared. That would have been a 6. So this is the area of this one. So now I have these 2 areas, and I'm going to subtract them. So 452.16 minus 153.86 0.86. And when I subtract the two of these, I get 298.3. And because it's area, I have inches, and then my inches needs to be squared. So this right here is my final answer. So on those questions, find the area of both circles and then subtract them. Okay, please don't do, if you subtracted and said 12 minus 7 and did 5 squared and then did 3.14 times 25, you would get 3.14 times 25, you would only get 78.5. That is nowhere close to this answer right here. So please do not just subtract them. Please actually find the area of both circles and then subtract them. Okay. If you have any questions, please ask me before you do your homework. Please ask me before you take a quiz, before you take a test. Please do not ask me in the middle of taking those things or working on it. Reach out to me. You guys can email me. You can message me on Google Classroom. You can message me through the Gmail. So let me know if you have questions and I will definitely help you. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.